Hey. Good morning. It is time for the Release Devotional 2.0. What's happening? What's going on? Happy Wednesday to everybody. Hello. Oh, you're not supposed to yawn on camera, girl. Nala's saying hello and good morning to everybody. Hello, Instagram. What's up? Hello, Facebook. Hello, Periscope. And hello, YouTube. Good to see you all. If you are not following me on Periscope or Instagram, please do. Stay connected. Let's stay together. Okay. Tap me out some hearts on Periscope because I love the energy that you all bring. And because this child is not going to bring me any energy this morning because she is yawning. But today, I hope that everybody's doing well. Let's see who's over here in the chats ready to do it this morning. Michael Cheney, Gold Star member, always in the room pretty much first. Good morning, West Coast Jennifer. Good to see you. Hello, Tamara. What is up? Are you good? You doing good? I'm good. Are y'all good? Let's be good. Monique, what's up? People say, Tim, yo, you're my hero. Daryl, Doc. What's up, Doc? Anthony. Hey. I have my days when it's true. Good to see y'all. I just want to cry. Yes. Hey, Leo. Sometimes it's work just to be alive. Tamara says, hey. Because the goodness that comes to me. What? It's easier to let go. You know how we have to do this, right? You got to tell yourself, I'm not having it. Yeah. Here's what I want to know. Are you good? Yes.
is the freedom to know that you are blessed because you are good, no matter what it's looking like on the outside. That's why we go for joy, because joy is about what's happening on the inside. Happiness depends on what's happening around you. But listen, there's so much going on in the world. You cannot let it be predicated on that. Thank you for saying hello to the family. Your food's in your bowl, boo-boo. You can't let it be predicated on that because so much is going on in the world. So we have to really learn how to take back our power and take back our joy. Hey, JB. Hey, Monique. I'm glad that you're good. I'm glad that you are good. I'm sure you are. In fact, y'all, so much going on today. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, babies. Hello, Kenny. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thank you. I'm glad, Tamara. Good morning, Miss Helen. Hey, Reverend Wingo. You thought I was on vacation. No vacations in the COVID era. But thank you. I receive it by faith. We are talking about being a real influencer today. And before we get to that topic, I do want to just lift a prayer. Again, I love and respect everybody's faith tradition, wherever you're coming from. Meet me at the place you understand God. So much in the world today. We got to go to the source bigger than us. I want to pray for those in Beirut and those impacted. You know, our broadcast goes out all over the world. You never know who's watching you, and you never know who they're connected to. So when you see bomb blasts and things like that happening across the world, it can be easy to say I'm unaffected or, kind of swipe to the next thing. Unless you stop for half a second and just say, God bless them, because somebody's lives were lost and somebody's family members are gone. So though we're not dwelling in it as those without hope, I do think we do ourselves a disservice if we become too desensitized. So just praying, God, we lift up the world to you. You are the source of all. You are the great creator, the I am that I am. And the whole world is in your hands. So Lord, we just lift up those who are impacted in Beirut, those impacted in Lebanon, those impacted all around the world by what's happening, and the places that we see because of video and the places that we don't see. Lord, this is a hurting place, and we know that love is the answer. So God, help us to be the instruments of love. Help us to be the instruments of influence and great impact through your love. Help us to not only love others, but to love ourselves fully so that we can love them out of the overflow. This is our prayer. In Jesus' name, I pray. In the name you pray. Amen. All right, y'all. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. Yes, we lift up prayers. If you are a person inclined to share the good news, now's your opportunity. Here's where you do it before we get to the... Okay, he picked us up and turned us around. Now's where we share, so that everybody gets in on the front end, and then we don't have to worry about anybody coming in on the back end. Like, what happened? What happened? Right. So work it out. You got 10 seconds to share. Work it out. Let's share it. Hey, what's up, Foxy? We working it out? What? Out. No problems. We working it out. Out. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Michael, for sharing. Thank you to those of you who have already shared. All right, let's get into it. So, influencers, if you go on social media and check it out, you got to have 100 million followers. Katy Perry, 1.3.2. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, I'm working out. You see me? Thanks, Erica. Hey, what's up, Castillon? Shay Castillon. Katy Perry, 103.2 million followers, right? Miley Cyrus, 112 million. You get the Khloe Kardashian, 116 million. You got to be in the hundreds of millions. I felt bad for Oprah. Poor Oprah. Oprah only has 19.2 million. Oprah. Oh, Oprah. Yeah. And then if you are an influencer on social justice type stuff like a Sean King, he's only got 3.6 million. That's so funny to say only 3.6 million. If you look at mine, I got like 1,800. So it's all relative, right? Oh, my cousin's in the house. What's up, Richard? So if you look by the standards of the world, right, social media tells you that influencers are the people who have impact and influence in a way that may or may not be valuable to us. And I came today so we can correct our view of ourselves and influencers. We got to start taking some words back. If I had asked some of you, how many of you are influencers amongst this standard, you would have said, well, not me. Maybe some of you may be, some of you may not be. That's because society has taken that word and run it amok. You have no idea how much one conversation, one word of encouragement, one expression of love can change somebody's life. Y'all hear me? Where my light bearers at? If you're a light bearer, throw me up an emoji. If you need to know what a light bearer is, it's the person that helps turn the lights on for somebody else. And I don't mean in their house, right? If you're a light bearer, I see you. I see you, Style Enhancer. I see you. I see you. I see you. We're the light bearers. We're my light bearers. We're my light bearers. Blessings. Good morning. You better come on with that hat, girl. You love that topic so much. Thank you. I'm so glad. I see you, Rev. You are a light bearer. Savalis, yes, you are a light bearer. Good morning, Karen. You are a light bearer. Annette has got her red dress lady dancing emoji. You are a light bearer. Yes, yes, yes. Monique, definitely a light bearer. And that's what I want to remind us, because it can be easy to forget who we are and what we have. Culture has hijacked the meaning of influencer. Even when I go to the dictionary online to see, what does it mean to be an influencer by definition? In today's society, it means a person with the ability to influence potential buyers of a product or a service by promoting or recommending items on social media. Somebody who has the ability, to influence the potential buying power of a person through products and services, or by promoting them and recommending them. That is their definition of influencer. And that's why culture has hijacked it, right? Growing up for me, teachers, coaches, my parents, our pastors, these were the influencers. Who were the influencers for you? Let's shout out your top influencers. These were the people that meant something to us. These are the people who were imparting something into us. They weren't trying to take something and make me buy something. They were putting something in me, right? They weren't trying to get something from me. And that's where we got to get this phrase of influencer back to, so that we align it rightly in our own minds, and that we don't put all of the shine on celebrities and athletes and rappers, and right? Because a lot of times they'll say, look, I'm not trying to be a role model, right? So who were some of your thought leaders? Let's just shout them out. Let me shout out mine. Miss Bailey, my third grade teacher. Boop. And then her daughter, I know, is on social media, Kathy Bailey. What's up, Kathy? Sue Zergel, my theater teacher, who gave me my first anchor shot at a high school newscast we did called Synergy. Miss Zergel. Shout out to all my piano teachers. Shout out to my first news director, Pat Brown. Rest in heaven. These are the people who have been the influencers in my life. Reverend Wingo says his grandparents. Absolutely. Our grandparents would be our influencers. I see that. I see that. Exactly, says Tamara. Savalas is shining his light. Jennifer throwing up the hearts. Yeah, that's what it's about, right? The people that have been impart people who would impart into us. Now it's about thought leaders, celebrities, content creators, and really it's kind of getting tragic. We've got to reclaim that word. We've got to reclaim the meaning of the word, and you've got to walk in it. Now, to be an influencer, let me say, you have to engage. You have to engage people. Absolutely. Tamara says, shout out to her grandmothers. Yes, yes, yes. Monique says, shout out to her mom, dad, teachers, big sis, and people she watched on TV. Absolutely. I shout out to my mom. She's one of my biggest influencers and one of my biggest cheerleaders and supporters. Annette says, shout out to Mrs. Dunn and Mr. Locke, who were her teachers. Absolutely. I love shouting out people who have made a difference, because even if they never see this, you have spoken their name, you have given them energy and light and love, and nothing of energy returns to us void, So we're going to reclaim that. We're going to reclaim that meaning. We are going to reclaim that meaning. And I want to take us to our scripture for today. It comes out of, there it is. It comes out of Matthew 5. And I'm going to start, many of you are familiar with it, but for those of you who aren't, I'm reading out of a great book called The Good Book. And just follow along. Get the wisdom. Suck up the wisdom. If this isn't your book, that's cool. I'm just a lover of wisdom. So wherever we get wisdom, meet me at that place. Hey, precious. So it says, you are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. Wow. You are the salt of the world. Salt, for those who cook and use it for different things, it purifies, it preserves, it draws things out. Flavor. Salt brings flavor, right? Keep going. It says at verse 14, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and then put it under a bowl. Why would you do that? Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your lights shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven, right? So let me tell y'all something today. I don't know if y'all knew this, but y'all are kind of salty. And IG, y'all are kind of shiny. Salty and shiny. Salty and shiny. If you're the salt of the earth, right? You're something that purifies, that brings flavor. Do you bring flavor to a situation? Then you salty, right? Tamara says it's one of her favorite scriptures. Good morning, Pamela Williams. Let's shout out Miss Helen's parents and her godmother. And if you are a light, you don't put it under. Thanks for the hearts, y'all. Kissing me out on IG. If you are hey, Periscope, what's up? Throw me some hearts. Stay, keep the energy flowing between us. I send it to you, you send it back to me. Why be a light and then put it under a bowl is what it says, right? Salt and light. Yeah. No, we're not going to hide that. We're not going to hide your light. But so often we hide our light because we don't value our own glow. We don't value our own impact. We don't value what we have to give to others, right? Thanks for liking it on Twitter, Anthony. I appreciate you. And that's the problem with how the culture has appropriated this term, because in our culture, the view of influencers starts with a platform and what they can take versus being a real influencer, which is about people and what you can give, right? Two very different thought modes. A platform to lift yourself up and take from others, or a focus on people and what you can give to others, right? Investing in people, investing in relationships, investing in other people's lives, right? Now, here's something that I think we kind of miss sometimes. And again, I'm talking about the value of being an influencer and seeing yourself as an influencer. Savala says, I like that salt also causes a thirst for water. We also cause a thirst for living water. Yes, yes. Lamont, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's think about this. Influence, influence, influence. You all have named teachers, you've named family members, you've named friends, godparents, grandparents, and the like. Let's do a case study. Let's take a snippet of my life and go back and let's do a case study on influencers, okay? When I was growing up, I loved theater and I was all involved in that. And when I got ready to graduate from high school, they said, you're going to be the most likely to succeed. And it was all about theater and music and arts, right? So when I got to college, I was lost. I didn't know what I was going to do because my parents gave me, look, no, you're going to major in something where you're going to be able to earn a living. I was like, you all had me stuck in music lessons all my life and singing and what? I ran off to New York to be with my friend, Tony Galdi, who was like a little brother to me coming up in high school, who had scored a fabulous show on Broadway called Starlight Express. And I thought, well, if my little brother can do it, I can do it. And I got up there and I realized, nope, I can't do it. So then I went back to college. But Tony influenced me because he helped me find the door that wasn't for me, right? Because sometimes we only think about influencing, let me give you something, it's something for my gain. It might be something for my gain, but it's taking away, removing something that I don't need, right? So you have to think about that in terms of the impact of an influencer. Then I got back to college. News station came up to the campus to do a story. I got in front of the camera because I'm so uncomfortable in front of the camera. I got in front of the camera to be a part of the news story. And the guy that was doing the story, the reporter, West Terrain, took it back, showed it to his news director and said, hey, I think this girl has something. The news director said, yeah, I think she's got something. So West Terrain was an influencer. I had no thoughts about being a newscaster. All I knew about news was Walter Cronkite. That was what I knew. And those of you who are out of that age range, go back and Google him. And then I met Pat Brown, this good old country cowboy from Dallas, Texas, who was the news director at the station. Erica's laughing at me. At the station, who offered me a job as a secretary, but never talked to me about the duties of a secretary. He only cast vision for me about the news industry and what it was about and how it had impact and how I could have impact in the world. And I got this vision and I said, yes, that's me. That's an influencer. On his input, on his influence, on his guidance, on his direction, on his belief and faith in me, even on his corrections, I built a career of 30 years and became an Emmy award-winning news anchor, network level entertainment host on that influence. Couldn't have made it, couldn't have done it without that. I'll even throw in my agent, Peter Goldberg, who saw a little kid in Huntsville, Alabama, and said, Dad, I can do something with her. And worked at one of the largest agencies in New York, NS Beanstalk, took me on as a client, helped me rise to the top. All of these people, influencers in the area of my former career, right? Why am I telling you that story? Because Pat Brown, God bless his soul, has gone on to heaven Tony and I, we've just reconnected through Facebook, but we fell out of touch for years. Influence isn't always instant, and influence isn't always obvious. Just because you don't see the harvest of what you're sowing into people now doesn't mean that that seed didn't take root. Just because you don't see the harvest of what you're investing in your businesses, in your passion projects, in your family, in relationships, in yourself, just because you don't see the full harvest yet, doesn't mean that the seed hasn't taken root. You know, I love to show you that video of a seed and what's happening underground and what I call the dirt work, where nobody can see it in the dark by itself. It's still growing roots downward, outward, and then upward, right? So don't give up on yourselves and your impact and your influence and what you're doing with your life, right? Because you don't see the influence. Savalas says that analogy or that share about the door that's not for you is good. Absolutely. God will sometimes shake up your life. Hey, Erica. Yeah. She says, wow, on IG. Sometimes, you know, life will shut the doors that aren't for you, which is just as big a help as the doors that are for you. Spiritual leaders can be influencers as well. Absolutely, they are. I was just sharing a portion of my time through my career, right? Just so that we could do a little case study. Pastor Angela says, good talk, sis. Thank you, Pastor Angela. Appreciate you. God bless you. Justin Payne says, good morning. Coach Gray was my biggest influencer. Way to shout at him out. Shouting you out, Coach Gray, Justin says. Absolutely. Kenny says, that's right. Yes, says Jennifer. Savalas is describing my quote, influence isn't always instant and influence isn't always obvious. You know? That's what we got to remember, because I think what happens is we sit down on ourselves. We don't show up fully for the fight because we doubt our impact. We doubt the energy that we expend. We doubt that this church is ever going to grow. We doubt that this congregation is ever going to get to the place where I want them to get spiritually. We doubt that the followers you have aren't really getting your message. We doubt all of these things. And Lamont says it gets greater later. Hey, I love that. Yeah. I love that. It gets greater later, right? This is the thing that I will say to those of you doing social media and you have businesses and things that you're trying to expand your reach and your influence, whether it be a business, a ministry, whatever it is. Stay consistent. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Keep posting the videos. Keep doing the talks. Keep throwing the quotes. Stay consistent and focus on the people you have there. And don't worry about the people you don't have there. Your tribe will come. Your tribe will come. Look, it took me 5 years to build this tribe, right? And we are strong, but it took 5 years to build this tribe. Kimberly weighs in. She says, now that was powerful word, Jeanette Renee Smith. Just because you don't see the seed of influence right away doesn't mean it hasn't taken root. Yes. I love that photo, Kimberly. Some of you are giving up too soon. Some of you are not giving yourself enough fuel for the fire based on what you think you see. Wait on it. Wait on it. Stay consistent. Yes. Wait on it, y'all. Wait on it. Wait on it. Right? Wait on it. Because what did I say? You never know what one word, what one moment, what one expression of love can do to change somebody's life. Pamela Williams says, I love this tribe. I love this tribe too, Pamela. Kimberly says, yep. And it's okay to take a break and regroup. Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. Good morning, Pamela Gill. Good to see you. Good to see you. Our prayer's still with you and your family, Pamela. Yes. Baldy Snipe says, stay consistent and be intentional. Beautiful photo. Yes, absolutely. That's it. Don't quit in the middle. On Instagram, Erica says, I have to go, but shout out to my influencers and band directors, Mr. Gonzalez and Mr. Wesley, my parents and some friends. Yes. Good folks. Thanks for popping in, Erica. Appreciate you. Thank you. Technology tried to give me the boot. Not today. I shan't be influenced by that today. Not today, right? So this whole notion about being an influencer, be salty and be light. Thank you for the kisses and hearts on IG. Be salty and be light. Be salty and be light, right? Be salty and be light. Now, let's go to another person out of the Bible. Pastor Joan Wharton says, won't quit in the middle. Yes, yes. Don't quit in the middle. Kimberly says, when you come to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's go to another scripture. When we talk about, oh my gosh, IG, sorry, I got to move you. No, I don't. I can do this. When we talk about influencers, I love looking to other folks that we see in the Bible who are the least likely. You know, I talked about being voted the most likely to succeed, but there are people who are voted the least likely, right? Be salt and be light. Be salty and be light. Absolutely, y'all. Absolutely. And so let's go to a woman who's probably the least likely to be a great influencer. To set the story up, conversation between, hey, Varian, what's up? Conversation between Jesus, Jewish, and a Samaritan woman, okay? And Jewish people, Jews and Samaritans didn't get along. Samaritans were half Jewish, half Gentile, and they didn't get along, all right? And Jews actually looked down on the Samaritans. So here's the scenario. Jesus comes up, sits down, he's having this talk, and not only is he talking to her, but he's talking to her with dignity and respect and having meaningful conversation with her, something that a Jewish man in that day probably would have never have done, right? So we're back in John now, John 4. We'll start at verse 9 right here. So he asked the woman, please give me a drink. He was alone at the time because his disciples had gone into the village to buy some food. And the woman was surprised, right? I've given you all the reasons. She was surprised, for Jews refused to have anything to do with the Samaritans. And she said to him, you're a Jew, I'm a Samaritan woman. Why are you asking me for a drink? What you talking to me for? Jesus says, and he said it, it's in the red, if only you knew the gift God has for you and who you're speaking to, you would ask me and I would give you living water. There you go, Savalas. Salt makes us thirsty. Isn't that what you said? But sir, you don't have a rope or a bucket, she said, and this well is deep. Where are you going to get this living water? And besides, do you think you're greater than our ancestor Jacob, who gave us this well? She's getting him told real nice. How can you offer better water than Jacob and his sons and what they enjoyed, right? And so it's kind of funny because he's asking for water, but then he's saying, I'm the living water. I quench the eternal thirst. She's confused. Are you trying to diss our ancestors, saying you got better water than Jacob? But then he seeks to speak to her spiritual need. Let's jump down to verse 16. And what I like about this is, no matter what you do, no matter what you go, there's one thing you can't deny. You can have personal preferences, you can have likes, dislikes, whatever. But when the Spirit of God shows up and speaks truth, you got to acknowledge it, that's God. When something happens in your life and it's divinely orchestrated and everything's aligned, right? And doors just fling open and stuff happens, or, you have put your foot in your mouth and you didn't check yourself on it. So God swings back around just to let you know with a nice little side sucker punch in the spirit. You have to admit that's God. Yep. So he shows her by speaking to her need, by coming with a prophecy, right? He sees through her and her situation and says, go get your husband. And she says, I don't have a husband. He said, yeah, you're right. You don't have a husband. You've had 5 husbands and you're not even married to the man you're living with now. You have spoken the truth. Now, bam. Talk about the holy mic drop. It's like, whoa. He put all that other stuff about whose ancestors you coming for, our ancestors and living water, blah, blah, blah. He said, let me show you who I am. Let me show you my influence. Let me show you the impact I can have. He just starts walking in his gift. He didn't start arguing with her. He didn't even go back and talk about Jacob and all the other stuff she raised. He just said, let me show you my influence. Some of you, I'm going to say some of us do far more work if we just stop trying to correct people and just walk in our influence. Stop trying to get people on the right track. Stop trying to even get them to see your perspective. I'm big on that. I used to be big on that, like especially if I felt like somebody was wrong. What's up, Dr. Walter Sims? Come on in, sir. He says, amen. Don't waste that time. Don't waste time trying to correct people. Sometimes you don't even need to waste time trying to get on the same page, especially when you can tell people I'm not trying to be on the same page with you. They're not even trying to be in the same book. Just walk in your influence. I don't know who that's for. Ta-da. All of us, I think, right? All of us. He just starts walking in his influence. He starts prophesying so she knows his role, his influence, and his impact. He's helping her see the real need, right? Because this poor woman, they call her the immoral woman. But I have to believe with the grace that he's shown him, because women women caught a lot of hell back in the Bible because you were only as good as the man you were married to. Most all of them that had influence didn't even get their name put in the book, right? Women were seen as property pretty much back in the day. So I have to believe with the amount of grace and time he's taking with her, he must have known her backstory. Was she really an immoral woman? Was she divorced? Did her other husbands die? Was she abused and she left one and ran away? Did she get pregnant? She made a mistake and then we don't know what her backstory was. Nobody knows what her backstory was, except for Jesus knew. And he treated her with love and respect and dignity, right? She was infertile. There you go. He knew her backstory. Nobody knows what all led to 5 husbands and all of that, right? Nobody knows, but Jesus knew. And he treated her with respect. So maybe you're ashamed about something in your past. Maybe there's some mess ups you got going on. And maybe you have shrunk from seeing yourself as an influencer because you're stuck on the thing that happened, or the mess up that happened, or the mistake that happened, or the opportunity you feel you missed, or whatever that was. But what you need to know is just like you're seeing the expression of God in this story. God is loving and has a restorative heart. That's the thing you can always count on about God. Not always about people, but what you can count on about God is he's always trying to restore people. He's trying to get the best out of them and bring the best up in them, right? That's what our God's about. Jesus knows our backstory. Yeah. That's why you can't let other people hold you hostage to that. Never let people hold you hostage to your backstory. Be like, yeah, I've grown. I hope you have too. And keep it moving, right? And keep it moving. I know that can be easier said than done sometimes, but trust me, if you get that revelation, that will set you free, right? Maybe this is the Messiah. She starts getting some revelations. Let's go down to verse 28, right? He says, I am the Messiah, all right? He gives her the spiel. Believe me, the time's coming. It won't matter whether you worship, because she said, well, should we more worship on the mountain or should we worship over here? We don't know. We're confused. He goes, it's not, all that's not going to matter. All that's not going to matter. But the time is coming. Indeed, it's here now when true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. And the Father is looking for those who will worship him in that way. For God is spirit. So those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. And she says, I know the Messiah is coming, the one they call Christ. When he comes, he's going to explain everything to us. Now, here's what's funny, and I just want you to take a note. He just explained everything to her. He just explained it to her. right there. Just explained it to her. Hey, brother. Hey, Michelle Shell. Just explained it to her. But she says, yes, yes, he's coming. He's going to explain it to us. I want to bring this up and lift it to you because what is God already showing you? What is he already explaining to you? What is he already laying out before you for your path? What is he already giving you a chance to correct? What is he already giving you an opportunity to walk through? What door is already right there? And you're saying, yes, yes, Pastor Joan, God can do it. And what are you saying? Well, yeah, when God shows up and opens the door, and he's already I just did it. I just explained it. It's right here. Right? We got to keep our spiritual antennas attuned. And then he says, okay, she didn't get it. I am the Messiah. I am the Messiah. He lays it out. That's what I love about God. He won't give up on you, even when you miss it the first time. He goes, no, I'm the Messiah. He just lays it all the way out, right? Verse 28, we see her go back down here. She goes back running into town yelling, come and see a man. Come and see a man, right? He told me everything I ever did. Now, here's the influence. She's going back and spreading the word. And she pulls the whole village to come see him. Right? Influence. Remember what I told you? You have no idea about the one word, the one moment, the one insight, the one thing you do or say that turns a whole mindset around, that turns somebody's whole life around. And then they go get a whole village. And now you have helped be salt and light in more places and spaces than you ever could have imagined, because you spoke to one person, because you gave to one person. You weren't trying to be an influencer like culture says, where you stand on your platform and you get people that you take from people, get them to buy from you. No. You're the influencer that focuses on people and what you can put on the inside of them. That's the salt and light. This broken, hurting, outcast of a woman becomes an instant influencer. Trust me when I tell you, you do not have to have your whole life together to be an influencer. You do not have to have everything perfect in your little life to be an influencer. Jennifer says she influenced her whole community. Absolutely. And that community, I'm sure, influenced others. Tamara says, everything my grandmother told me 30 years ago, I'm doing now. Remember, we talked about influence isn't always instantaneous, right? And not always obvious. That's the beautiful thing about seed planting. Influence. You don't have to have your whole life together. And I'm speaking to those of you who won't write the book, who won't go ahead and start the business, who won't go ahead and get the podcast up, who won't step out on faith and do some more broadcasts from your church or from your, for your coaching practice or for whatever, who let the border bullies who have a lot to say about what you're doing and how you're doing it and when you're doing it guide you about staying little, staying small. Here's a note. You're never going to please them. They're not mad about what you're doing and how you're doing it. They're mad that you're doing it. Don't give them power. Don't give your border bullies power. The border bullies who are on the outskirts of you passing from one level of your dream to the next on your path of purpose, don't let those bullies keep you from doing and walking in your influence. Don't do that. And don't let them tell you what you don't have and you don't have your life together. Who's going to listen to you about this? Do it. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Because there's somebody out there that needs to hear the message just the way you're going to give it, with all your little broken pieces of life all wrapped up into it. They need to get it exactly like that from you. In fact, they probably won't hear it from anybody else. But because you have that kind of insight, they're going to hear it from you. They're going to accept it from you because you're the real deal, Holyfield. You are the real deal, right? So they'll take it from you. They'll take it from you. All right. I like to make sure that you all are down with the wake up calls. Influence isn't always instant, and influence isn't always obvious. That's our wake up call, right? It isn't always instant and it isn't always obvious. Pamela says, you have said a mouthful. Pastor Jones says, thank you, God, that we are not perfect influencers. Absolutely. Man, if we waited to get to be perfect before we start operating in our gifts and our talents, if we started waiting for perfection to have impact and influence, nothing would get done. Jennifer says she influenced her whole community. Yeah. All right. So remember, it's not always instantaneous and it's not always obvious. And so here's a question I have for you. What is your superpower that brings light and salt into a circumstance? You don't have to have your whole life together. You don't have to have 112 million followers on Instagram. You don't have to have any of that crap to be an influencer, a real influencer, to spread the good news, to spread grace, to spread love, to spread understanding, to stamp out strife and bring goodness into the world. You don't have to have all that to do that. All you have to do is care about people. Really care about people and not be looking for what you can get from them, but what you can give to them, what you can pour into them, what you can plant on the inside of them. You have no idea how one word, one moment, one act of kindness, one thing that you do or say will turn your life around or somebody else's life around. It'll turn yours around too, because you never give without having impact. That's the great thing about giving. It always comes back to you. So don't quit. I don't know what you've been quitting on. I don't know what you've been laying down or what you've been sleeping on. I don't know what it is, but don't quit. You are an influencer. So from now on, if somebody asks, are you an influencer? You say, yeah, I'm an influencer of the highest kind. I seek to give, not take. I seek to grow. I seek to grow. All right, light it up in the chats. Let me see. What's your superpower? What's the thing that you do that you know helps bring light in circumstances or situations? You love that bell. I know you love that bell. That's the wake up bell. And now just because you said it, I need your answers. What's your superpower? What's the thing that you do that people come to you for? Pamela Williams says she encourages people to keep the light burning every day. Be the example. Absolutely. Savala says for him, it's encouragement and giving fresh perspective. Absolutely. Here. What's your superpower? Lay it out. Because there's power in the I am statement. Some of you don't believe it. You have to say it by faith. I'm saying, y'all, I see a couple of numbers falling off. Don't run. If you got to go back to work, okay, I get it. Don't run. Stick and stay. Do this part. This part is just as important as anything else I've said this entire hour. You have to believe in yourself as an influencer, and everybody's been given a measure of something to have impact on others. What is yours? Pastor Jones says she has the gift of motivation. Yes. Kenny says his superpower is listening from another's perspective. Yes. Monique says, I think my superpower is my listening ear, my calm nature that helps soothe all of those around me. Yes. Pastor Jones says, I'm a motivator. Absolutely. West Coast Lisa says, I'm always singing, which tends to make folks smile. That's awesome. At the store, at work, everywhere, but not sure what to do with that, or even if that's listen, if you made people smile, writing words, thoughts of encouragement. But if you made people smile, wait a minute. What happened to the comment I just had up? Lisa, did you delete your comment? I'm going to come get you. I'm always singing. Oh, that's Tanaya. Okay. I'm sorry, baby. Tanaya says she's always singing, which makes folks smile. Yes, that's an listen. If I'm walking around and I'm in my feelings, and then all of a sudden I hear something that's soothing to me, and you bring me out of my gack into a better place of positivity, that's absolutely a superpower. Absolutely. Kudos to you. Sorry for y'all. I got y'all's mixed up. West Coast. Lisa says writing thoughts of encouragement. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pamela Gill says sharing positive energy and thoughts. Yes. And let me tell you how you blessed me the other day, Miss Pamela. Miss Pamela, when you came on and danced with us in the open, that was everything. I think you all think that I get up here and act crazy and got all this energy just because it's just naturally, but nope. Sometimes I'm doing it by faith. And Miss Pamela has had a death in her family, and she still got on and came on and danced with us, right? Leola says showing and sharing encouragement with people. Absolutely. Showing and sharing encouragement with people. Annette says praying and insight. And I'm funny. That is a superpower. Getting other people to smile and laugh is definitely a superpower. Kimberly says, my smile draws people in and blesses their soul and allows them to open up. The dimpled life. Come on, dimpled life. I love that. That's great. That is a superpower. I'm super loving that. Leola says showing people that you care. I knew what you meant, and encouraging them. Absolutely, Miss Leola. Savala says that's awesome, Miss Pamela. Very encouraging. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Jennifer says seeing and caring for those that society often ignores. Yes to that. Yes to that. We're in need. We are in need, are we not? We are in need. That's what I hope that you all got out of this today, is that you are an influencer, and don't let society keep you focused on what it says an influencer is. It's not about the platform and what you can take. It's all about you pouring into people and what you can give. It's what you plant in others that lasts. I have people DM me from years ago. I don't even remember the conversation, not because it was insignificant or not unimportant, just because, after so much life and having moved from different cities to different cities, hey, my brain is kind of etchy sketchy. And so I'm always humbled that something I said or did has impact. And let me tell you, I also know that we can be influencers for bad too, right? For ill. And so I always pray, God, anything that I ever did that impacted somebody in a negative way, I ask that you restore their heart, restore their mind around that thing. Allow them to, even in the spirit, receive my forgiveness, my ask for forgiveness. And then detach us. Don't let us be bound to one another through unforgiveness. Even if they can't forgive me, don't let us be connected through unforgiveness. Let something different be planted there. That is what we pray, because influence goes different ways, right? Sorry, IG, I don't know what happened right there. Style Enhancer says her superpower is encouragement and support on IG. Yes to that. Yes to that. So what are you going to do this week? That's my question. It's Wednesday. You got time. You can do something to bring light, to be salt, right? You can do something. There's some situation. Just take a moment and think about it. Who is it? What is that situation or circumstance? Maybe you've been putting off. Maybe you've been avoiding somebody. You can go back and bring some understanding. You can bring some light. You can bring salt. You can bring flavor to that situation or circumstance. Who is it? What is it? What is that? What is that you can go and do? Because it's never too late. It's never too late. Never too late. Yes, says Leola. Dion says, enjoyed it. Keep up the good work. Thanks, brother. Thanks. As we get ready to get out of here, y'all. Hey, a little Stevie. Love is in need of love today. Would you agree? Love is in need. Join our tribe. We are the Empowerment Tribe. We encourage each other. We keep the conversation going over in the Facebook group. Post things that I probably don't post on my page. Keep inspiring each other. Thanks, Lamont. Lamont says this week he's going to spend more time with his children. I love that, man. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Monique says she's not going to let this live end without shouting me out. Oh, Queen Jeanette Smith for influencing me big time. Thank you. Pastor Jones's powerful message. Thank you, Pastor Jones. Yes. Yes, yes. Great song, right, girl? Yeah, love is in need, y'all. A. Leela says, great class. Thank you. If you all need a coach, if you need to continue the work, we do group work with women, group work with the men. All you got to do is hit me up on my website, JeanetteSmith.com, and join our text group. All you got to do is text the word release to 22999 so you can stay connected that way too. There's so many ways to stay connected and keep positivity flowing in your life. I really believe it's important that you get those hits of positivity throughout the day, especially those of you who are influencers that pour out. Because if you're not coming from your overflow, you're going to be an empty pitcher, and nobody wants an empty pitcher. I'm sure those are happy faces or something. It didn't come up for me, Pastor Angela, but I appreciate that. Right? All right, y'all. Y'all know that I love you all so much. You all, IG, appreciate you. Hey, Broderick, what's up, man? Good to see you, brother. You all you come to do it. You come to get it done. And every day I'm always so thankful and blessed that you allow me to be your path leader in that regard. So thank you, thank you, thank you. There's nothing more I can say, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great day. Now this.
Thanks so much for joining me on this journey to help empower your mind, your body, and your spirit. I hope you've enjoyed our time together as much as I have. Make sure you stay connected. Become part of the tribe, the inner circle. Text the word release to 22999 and get all the updates on events and happenings and pop-ups that I do. Let's grow this community. Bring more hearts and minds into the room. Share the streams. Join our tribe, our Facebook group, and support through products and services that'll help you continue to make better decisions for better living. Like this resource, From Dream to Reality, Navigating the Path to Your Life Purpose. This top-selling action journal has helped thousands of people find and follow their purpose. You can get it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The link is in the post. The Empowerment Tribe is about empowering one another. So follow me on social media so I can follow you back and see what you're up to. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Periscope. Thanks again for tuning in. We are the Empowerment Tribe. Together, we are light bearers in the world. Love you to life. See you next time.